Tui looks like is headed to the West Tigers. It looks like the Warriors are going to bring in Zach Santo from the Canberra Raiders as well as sort of fullback wing cover, I guess. So plenty going on in the world of rugby league. Of course, Tui, a graduate of the Auckland system here, a Custom Boys High School student, played for the Maris Saints. As we switch back to current action, and Inu gets us back underway for the second half of this round 8 SAS Fox Memorial Premiership clash.
Oh,
and it's a terrible start for
it's not the way you want to start it.
The Mount Albert Lions.
Was there a little bit of a head clash there?
And Ulupuao has put the ball down. Not happy with that one, the big fella.
Over the next 5 to 10 minutes, you'll see him trying to make up for that.
So the Roosters, this is exactly what they wanted. Some early ball here. They're going to start a set about 10 metres off the line. Neil feeds the scrum. Out the back it goes. Sui Fua with a carry taken down by Chaz Brown. Inu into dummy half. It's a slow play of the ball in the end. Down the right edge. Javier. Golding gets his hands on the ball. Fakes to go left, heads back inside. Not a bad tactic. Makes some good meters there. They're right up against the line here. Friedman to dummy half. Feeds it out to Neil. Back door again. It's Inu. Nicodemus chimes in from the back. Nicodemus shows, goes. Tackled well eventually by Henry Dunn. Sui Fua into dummy half. Hands it off to Jeremy Thomas. Friedman finds Inu. Inu out the back to Neil. Neil throws the cutouts around the feet, and the execution just lacking a little bit there for the Roosters. They had the right idea. They probably had the numbers there if the ball had got there, but the execution a little bit off, and ball ends up around the ankles and rolls out. So Mount Albert survived their early era off the opening carry, and now work it out through Rory Ropati.
And just a quick heads up in regards to the Howick Point Chevalier game that's live at the moment. Howick are leading that game 10 points to 4, Corey. Pirates are down.
Interesting, so a couple of close matches going on in other SAS Fox Memorial Premiership action today. We do talk about earlier in the match the closeness of the competition this year. Of course, Howick sitting on top, Point Chevalier in second, so it is a top of the table clash today.
Oh, he's managed to snuff that down. He's regated. Yep. Referee says no.
We're going to find a knock on there.
And a great day for rugby league at the Aquatechnic Stadium down here, Jack Colvin Park, the home of the Roosters. If you are in the area, come down and join us. Fantastic game of footy being played. And I understand they've got a DJ later on tonight up in the main clubhouse area.
So the Lions, following that error, feed the ball out to Dion Snell. He's tackled well by Eric Golding, up high.
Here come the Lions again with a quick... Oh, there's an appeal there.
Big contact there, led by Paiachu. Snell juggles the ball, just exposes the ribs a little bit there and wears a shot for his troubles. David Hardy into dummy half.
Great line speed.
And a nice carry
needs
forward.
to be effective.
Up over halfway, good leg drive there from Mount Albert.
You've got 4
Hardy
Roosters in that tackle. They need to get back into the line.
And Hardy takes full advantage of it, darts out, but well tackled by Falilua Malio, and they force the error there. So good defence from the Te Atatu Roosters. Forces the error after Mount Albert making some dangerous ground down the middle of the park.
They managed to snuff that out in time. And you can hear the little dings going off in the background. They're just updates that we've shared with you now. As we said earlier, Point Chevalier 10, Howick 10, Point Chevalier 4 in their match. Back to the main game live here, courtesy of the Auckland Rugby League. Te Atatu on the attack.
Nicodemus there takes the first hit up, out towards the left. Jeremy Thomas, tackled well by Dion Snell and Henry Dunn. Now out of dummy half, the back line getting involved, Taylor Herbert. Then it's just his 3rd season in the league, the 19-year-old, doing really well to be playing Premier football already at his age. Inu now turns Stella Falilua Malio back inside, tackled by Ropati, who hangs on. No penalty forthcoming at this stage. Out the back, Inu finds Golding. Golding fends off the initial one, but then met well by Rapati. About 35 metres off the line. Friedman into dummy half. They go out towards the short side. Inu dribbles a little kick through. It's a nicely weighted kick, but it does just go dead, much to the relief of Mark Graham. And Mount Albert will start this set now about 10 metres off the line. A positive set there from the Roosters, but really struggling to find a way through this Mount Albert line in this stage, Troy.
They've got to take some confidence out of that though, Corey. You know, they've been down inside this half now. They're spending a bit of time here, so hopefully they'll mount a wee bit of momentum, get some pressure on, and you know, keep the Lions down inside here, because this is where they need to be able to, you know, strike hard and strike fast. So if they can contain the Lions here, they'll need to work hard on their defence and get a wee bit more energy inside their chat on the defence line, mate.
And a nice carry there from the 18. Simoni Makahili. Excellent work coming out of yardage now, and Rapati gets involved, takes it up towards the 40-metre line. Golding, he's been busy since coming onto the park on both sides of the ball.
Oh.
Big hit there from Javier.
Oh, they hit him again.
And my apologies, it was Paiatu, that one, with the big hit up on halfway. Now Tua takes it forward again. Golding leading the charge. Finished off by Falilua Malio.
Look like they're into another set play here. They fake Rory. Kick.
Wallace puts a high one down towards Herbert, but it's well taken. And not only does he take it, but it's a good kick return at the end of it as well. Great work from the youngster.
Is that Taylor?
Taylor Herbert, the 19-year-old coming off the flank. We mentioned earlier in just his third season of rugby league and playing at this Premier level already, so handled himself really well there. That was no easy take, and then had the presence of mind to look for the gap and steal a few cheap metres. Johnson now takes it to the line, tackled well around the legs by Dunn, finished off by Snell. Friedman to Inu, heads out to his edge. Nice initial fend off by Sui Four. Eventually taken down. Friedman again.
Te Atatu back in this half again for another good set. They've got to make something of it though. They've got to create something, Corey.
Yeah, they need points or a repeat set. Last tackle here. What can they do? Inu, he'll hoist one high, and it's down towards the wing of Mark Graham. Graham goes up. Well
Great
taken
catch
by the big fella, and never really looked in doubt. Really composed under that high ball there. Does the job for his Lions team now. Chaz Brown with a good carry.
Oh,
and a bit of...
Now we're all getting invites back to another barbecue by the looks of it. And a couple of the second rows there going, look, I'll bring our own meat packs. And the referee said, look, we're not going to have a barbecue. We're going to continue playing rugby league. Oh, there's one of Corey's favourite words, chahoo, at the background there.
That's right, I can say the locals enjoying that one. A few words exchanged. Both captains getting a little talking to now. And as we wait for that to play out, Troy, just reading through some of the former players that have come through this Te Atatu Roosters club over the years. Very surprised to see the name James O'Connor there, the former Wallaby. Did play a little bit of junior footy here in the early 2000s, I'm told, before the family moved over to Brisbane. Of course, he's one of many famous names to come out of here in more recent times. Players like Patrick Arvan, Shontaine Harpy as well.
Paul brothers.
That's right, yeah, the Paul brothers, who of course had a lot of success over in the UK, and Robbie doing some really good things on the administrative side of things over there as well.
I've got to do a big shout out to Ronnie O'Regan. Ronnie, if you're there, mate, good luck at the races tomorrow too for you, man. And a Fox winner here with the Roosters as well, Corey.
So Mount Albert now come up to halfway, and this match starting to get a little bit of sting in it as Joseph Price shows that nice footwork again. He's a powerful guy, but he's also got some fantastic feet. Able to change direction there and really keep the defence guessing now as they come out towards the left. And Chaz Brown, he's fired up from his earlier encounter. A good carry forward there. Marcus Fraser darts out a dummy half. He's going to be pretty close. Short is the call, so last tackle. Can the Roosters hold on? Brown into dummy half. Shifts it out towards the left. Wallace now dribbles a little kick through. Graham's going in, but it is going to be a little bit too deep, so the Roosters survive. But again, a really energetic set there from the Mount Albert Lions. Plenty of intent in their carries. Chaz Brown going close down the left as Neil gets us back underway. And with about half an hour remaining in this match, the Roosters getting to the point here where they need a point of difference. They need someone to break this game open. Who's it going to be? We highlighted Neil earlier in the match is a real danger man for this side. Can he be the man?
Good hands. Got to put him in the gap.
Towards Herbert. Herbert back inside.
Got monstered by Buzz. Just wrapped him up and drove him into the ground.
He's been busy today, Dion Snell. That time tackling Jeremy Thomas. Chu there with the carry forward, and they get the penalty. That's what they wanted. So they're going to get a really good chance here. And plenty of calls just trying to calm each other down. I think a little bit the Roosters, they have had to do a whole lot of defensive work here. They want to be composed in this set. It's proved hard to get the ball down this end of the field, so the Roosters will want to take advantage now as Sui Four with a good carry forward. Dunn finishes them off. Friedman into dummy half. Falilua Malio.
Good step. Oh.
And it's a strip, so back-to-back penalties here for the Roosters. This is really going to put the Mount Albert line under some pressure. Let's see how they can respond. They've been excellent so far in this match defensively.
And they need to turn this into points.
Murray takes it up towards the sticks. Excellent carry there from Stuart Preuss, who's played a bit of footy with Richmond in the Premier team. Won a reserve championship with the Point Chevalier Pirates a couple of years ago as well. Now as Nicodemus shakes out of the first tackle, taken down in the second. So the Roosters here starting to get a little bit of front football. What can they do with it? Neil shifts out towards the left. And again, Preuss involved on the ball. Looked like he'd got the offload free there, but no one looming in support. Friedman out to the left, and Inu. And to be fair, the pass was just a little bit behind him, reaches out for it, comes up with the error. So a really unfortunate end to that set for the Te Atatu Roosters. They were able to build some nice pressure there and looked likely if they could get towards the end of that set and get to the kick.
Unfortunate's the correct word there, Corey. You know, they were doing some good stuff right up until that point. And as we get ready for the scrum now, they've got to defend well down here inside this half and try and contain Mount Albert inside the 20.
And a penalty there for the Lions, which is a relieving one for them as they worked it out a yardage.
Just trying to slow that ruck speed down, eh?
Yeah, that's right, and such a crucial component of today's game, being able to slow that ruck down and sort of control the pace of the game, I guess. And a quick look at the ladder heading into this one. We had Mount Albert sitting third on 10 points. Te Atatu were sitting ninth. And I dare say a bit of movement will be going on the table around us as we have the top of the table, Howick Hornets and Point Chevalier Pirates facing off. So one of them is likely going to go clear unless it's a draw. So one of them will go outright top of the ladder. And at this stage, Mount Albert looking odds on to jump to 12 points and join the other.
Yeah, I was going to say, looked like a knock on there.
And there we go, the Roosters. And look, the crowd now starting to come into it. Getting vocal. They know it's getting to that point in the game where they need to strike a blow here. There's still time if they can make it click, the Roosters, and we saw last year in the Sharman Cup they were able to score some points when they got going. They have lost a few of those real key contributors on attack, but still very much an attacking team. And last week against the Hawks, well, they did really well to score 28 points in a 28-22 victory. So we know they got points in them, the Te Atatu Roosters. As the centre, Sui Four, carries again. He's been busy out here on the left edge for the Roosters. Friedman finds Falilua Malio, who I think has played the whole match so far. A good shift from Big Sala. Went across to Point Chev to try his luck and played in the reserve team over there, but a really talented player. He was the Sharman Cup Player of the Year in 2014. And he could only have been a teenager. I think he's only 21 now, so...
Shot.
A really quality player as Sala is John Nicodemus. Goes close to the sideline. Herbert into dummy half. Last tackle. They need something here, the Roosters. Inu puts it high. It's a crossfield kick. Graham's going to go up for it. It's an uncontested one, which the Roosters have taken. They keep it alive. Some second phase here. Johnson comes back infield. Now Neil dribbles through. Hoping to regather there, but it was good fullback positioning from Cortez. Talal at the back.
Ooh.
And saves the day for the Mount Albert Lions. So try as they may, Te Atatu just can't find a way through this Mount Albert line right now. They have had a number of sets starting in attacking territory, but yet to find a result. They did have the one try in the first half. Down in the right-hand corner. But nothing since now as Mount Albert big boys get involved. Head up towards halfway and last tackle. And they can really start to, they can start to control this game here with a good kick. There's an error at the play of the ball. And Te Atatu will get another chance inside attacking territory. And Troy, if anything, all this is doing is just keeping that hope alive in this Te Atatu Roosters team. They know that Mount Albert are making these sweet little errors. It's giving them a chance to get points.
Well, mate, looking at the clock there, we're about 16 minutes in, and for those that have joined us, our clock is indicative to the match manager's time clock that he'll be running over there in the officiating booth. But they've spent the best part of these 16 odd minutes, Corey, down here in the right part of the field. It's just a matter of converting it to try or converting it to points. A lot of support coming up. There's a lot of crowd here today at the Aquatex Stadium. We say stadium, Jack Colvin Park grounds, and a great strong run, good carry.
Yeah, Falilua Malio, yet another carry. Love to see his stats for this game. He has been busy indeed. Friedman is out towards the other prop, Preuss. But they need something a little bit more creative here, I dare say, the Te Atatu Roosters. It's likely to come off either Inu or Neil, the two halves, who have played well so far in this match despite the scoreline. Friedman comes into dummy half. They're not far off the line here, the Roosters. Neil takes a bobbling ball, and it was a poor pass from dummy half, it must be said. Around the legs there, and Neil a little bit helpless on that one.
And I think a few of the Mount Albert boys are giving him a wee bit of advice on that one, Corey, as you can see them chatting away quite happily from this side of the field.
And just quickly, as we do have a pause in play, a real congratulations to the Te Atatu club for the work they've done down here today. A good turnout, really nice atmosphere down here at Jack Colvin Park, so well done to the club. It's a really nice place for footy, and certainly one of my favourite venues in Auckland. And very friendly people out here in the west as well. So a big congratulations
good bump
to
and
the
run.
Roosters in their first year back in the Auckland First Division after being promoted last year from the Sharman Cup. Now as Mount Albert head up towards halfway, and look, the Lions, no, they don't have to do anything fancy here. They probably don't need to score any more points. All they have to do is complete their sets, and they've got this one won. Their defence really has been excellent so far. They don't look like conceding points. So
I
it's not
just
a
want
tough
to
equation for
keep
them.
executing good kicks on the back of completing their sets.
And that is a good kick there from Dunn. Finds the grass, makes Nicodemus turn around. And they'll have about 80 metres to go if they are going to get points at the end of this one, the Te Atatu Roosters. So Neil jumps into dummy half now. Another carry from Suifua. And boy, he's been excellent today. Has Cedric Suifua, a 32-year-old veteran, 19 years at the Te Atatu Roosters. And as we say that now, the ball spills out and Suifua picks it up. And I might have put the mock on him because he spilt the ball, as so often happens in the commentary. So sorry for that one, Cedric, and he's taken a bit of a knock to the head as well there. So hopefully he's right there. The trainer will go over and check on his welfare. But again, the Roosters showing some enterprising play, but just lacking that final little bit of execution to get them over the line.
Sorry about that, Corey. I was busy texting people left, right and centre in regards to updating the score here. And if you are at one of the other matches around the Auckland region, please either text or message us on the Auckland Facebook page just to give us an update on some of the other scores and games that are being played in the Auckland region today. Back to the live action here. Mount Albert are running out from inside their 30. Getting into position now, getting shape. They've got good communication going on out there, and they're executing to plan at this point, Corey.
Yeah, Chaz Brown with another good carry forward. Been excellent today out on the left centres. Contributed to a couple of tries in the first half and defended really well. Let's not forget, Te Atatu have had most of the good ball in this second half, but the Lions, an excellent defensive showing, which no doubt will be pleasing co-coaches Cody Walker and Phil Gordon, as Price now back onto the field and straight away causing trouble. Pushes off the first attempt to tackle from Murray, gets them up to 40 metres, looks for that quick play the ball now as Fraser heads out towards his right. It's a carry from Andrew Bobb.
They just seem to have marched down the field quite easily on that set, haven't they?
So
Te Atatu's going to be doing some work here.
Corey Cedar finds his winger back inside. It's Tua who finds another offload, and now the second phase starting to come in. They might have some numbers out here on the left if they can get it there. Wallace elects to go high, and Graham chases down. It's well fielded by Nicodemus.
He's been good at the back today, Nicodemus. He's diffused a couple, and you know, he's been safe under the ball.
He has, and coming up against some quality halves today in the shape of Henry Dunn and Trent Wallace. Both of them have played plenty of Fox Memorial footy. Both also New Zealand Māori representatives in years gone by.
Oh, he's bobbled it. Sorry, Corey. Yep.
And that might just do it there.
There's few of the forward pack were still walking back into position there. They were a bit slow to get back into shape. And the big strapping centre there, you know, he's bobbled it and he's held his head down. He knew that that was the last thing that they needed as they go into the scrum.
And these things can happen when you're facing a bit of scoreboard pressure. Start to let a couple of little errors creep into the game. Uncharacteristic, I guess. As Tua, first receiver off the scrum. He's an awfully big 5'8". Fraser into dummy half. Joseph Price, watch out, here's trouble for the Roosters. Stands in the tackle initially before being taken down. Finished over the top by Falilua Malio. Dunn steps off the right twice. Tackled by the brothers. Wallace, nice cutout ball, spilt. And I think that's going to be a try. It looked like it could have been an intercept. Was spilt in the end by Sui Four. And Corey Cedar says, I'll have that one, thank you very much. And adds Mount Albert's first points of the second half.
And it was a long time coming, you know, in the first half there, Corey, they were running it well, especially in the first 8-10 minutes, you know, they were putting them across the line. And into the second half here, you know, fair dues to Te Atatu. They've made a wrestle of it, and that one going against the grain as Mount Albert run across the line. Looks like there's a wee bit of a conversation going on with the referee there and the Mount Albert captain. Just getting a bit of clarification on maybe some of the activity that just took place in that last couple of minutes down there. And again, fantastic day down here at Jack Colvin Park, the home of the Te Atatu Roosters, and big thank you to all of the sponsors to both teams for glass projects with Mount Albert, and also Russell Gordon, who's been a long time supporter of the Mount Albert Lions down there. Big ups to you guys, and also the Barfoot and Thompson support that's given to Te Atatu Roosters, along with the placemakers in New Lynn, and of course their overall major sponsor, Aquatechnics.
So Chaz Brown to attempt this conversion from a fairway out to the right of the sticks. And then goal kicking, if there's one point you could criticise them on today, Mount Albert, it hasn't been great today, their goal kicking. Brown steps in.
Nice.
And that one pushed away just to the right of the uprights from our commentary position. It did look like it had crept in there, but the flags stay down.
Just wanted to correct, I was saying nice steed in football is what I was meaning there, Corey.
Of course,
nice steed
well
in football.
saved. Well saved. So 38 points to 6. The Mount Albert Lions lead the Te Atatu Roosters. Just under 20 minutes remaining here in round 8 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership. Of course, one of many live stream games the Auckland Rugby League are bringing you this year free of charge all around the world. We've brought you 2 Crown Lift Truck Charman Cup games already. We'll bring you some Women in League action later in the year, as well as the SAS College Rugby League competition. So very exciting to be a part of it, and we do thank the Auckland Rugby League for their support of the live streaming initiative, bringing you more games than ever before.
More coverage, more footy.
Which is what we are all about here, and Mount Albert now get things back underway, and this Roosters team, some of the body language now starting to suggest they're feeling the toll of what has been a tough afternoon for them. We still highlight, Troy, you know, despite the scoreline, the Roosters really have not played too badly in this game at all. I think, you know, Rev O'Neill will see a lot of positives out of this one. They've come up against a quality team. At times they've defended really well, the Roosters, and they have managed to earn some really good field positioning. So
absolutely,
plenty of positives for the Roosters. It's not all doom and gloom, but Mount Albert very, very classy so far as we approach the final 15 minutes.
They'll take some key learnings out of today, and it'll put them in good stead as we start getting prepared for round 2 of the SAS Fox. And, you know, they'll get some good knowledge out of today's game. As I'm saying that, though, the Aquatechnic Roosters are still getting back in on side. We're at the third play of the ball, I believe, and they're still trying to get some shape here.
Stuart Preuss comes in for some more work, takes the ball up to halfway. Falilua Malio.
He's had a busy day at the office today, hasn't he, Corey?
He has,
he's had some good, strong carries.
Yeah, really good young player is Salah.
Good kick, bit of miscommunication there. They've run into one another. I hope those players are okay.
Yeah, and in the end it's well recovered by Cortez Talu. Get the play the ball, and there's a man down and back play, so we may have to have a pause and play here, and indeed we will.
Yeah, referee said stop the clock.
So it is Talu who's feeling a little worse for wear there from a bit of friendly fire.
I've just had another update in regards to the Northcote Mangere East game. They're at 22 all, so what a cliffhanger that's going on over there, mate.
And remembering that game will be just about in sync with our clock here, so looks like it could be set for a thriller there. And plenty on the line in that one in terms of that battle for relegation, which is likely to heat up over the next few weeks as we head into the second round. So Northcote can really put some space between themselves and the bottom place Mangere East Hawks with a win there. And for the Hawks, well, it's not must-win territory by any means yet, but it would certainly be useful heading into the second round, and if anything, just to give them a bit of confidence that, hey, we can do this.
Well, they would have taken a whole heap from last week, taking down Papakura Sea Eagles, Corey, and you know, obviously they're in a massive tussle today with the Hawks, and you know, it'll be interesting to see what the score is at full time. However, back to the main action here. Mount Albert is starting to grind it out inside their half, and they've never looked like they've been under any sort of real pressure. They've been real classy throughout the whole game, and look at the defence coming up. Look at some of the Roosters now in the back play here, still getting into the line.
And the Roosters, they're going to have to promote that second phase. If they had to find some points here, they've thrown plenty at Mount Albert, but come up with nothing so far, and that's a huge hit, led by Jordan Tua, the winger, coming infield for a bit of action. Sui Fua with yet another carry. Boy, he's been busy today, has made a couple of errors over the last few minutes, but he's been excellent, has the veteran centre.
Oh, he's bobbled.
But the ball spills free from the grasp of Inu. And Mount Albert now with the ball again.
Been a little bit quiet in the second half. Our number 13, Josh.
Joseph Price.
Joseph?
Yeah, he's
Sorry, Joseph.
He's only been on the field for a little while. I think had a little stint at half-time, but boy, he's been fantastic. For me, the man of the match so far as we head into the final 10 minutes. You know, we mentioned he's been a standout all year for them. He's been in the KiwiLeagueCentral.com Team of the Week most weeks. An outstanding player at lock.
Dion won't be happy with that, mate. Dion will want to be player of the day after his little score try down there on the edge.
Well, Dion's played really well as well. So look, it's had a number of guys really stand up today. The Mount Albert Lions, the halves have been good. We mentioned, I guess, their professionalism and ability to finish off their sets has been really good today, and it will have pleased the coaching staff.
Well, the tide's been against the Te Atatu Roosters. Who's impressed you on the Roosters side, mate?
Well, look, I think Salah Falilua Malio has been really, really strong. I think haven't seen him go for a rest, which is pretty impressive for a man his size in the front row.
He's played big minutes. Yeah, correct. I don't think he has, mate.
plenty of carries, and also, you know, a few guys on the outside backs who have been heavily involved as well. So, you know, we say it again, you know, if you're just tuning in now, 38-6 probably looks like, you know, Te Atatu have performed poorly. Not really the case. They've been pretty good, the Roosters, and a real credit to Coach Rev O'Neill. But they've come up against a really classy outfit today. They've made a few mistakes which have played into Mount Albert's hands and have paid the price, but now they shifted out towards the left. Sui Fua beats the initial one before Tua joins and tackles well with Henry Dunn. Herbert into dummy half.
Yeah, I'd say 70%, maybe 75% of the points were all scored in the first, probably 15 minutes of the first half. So there hasn't been a lot of more numbers being racked up on the scoreboard over there.
Yeah, and just as we mentioned that, not what Te Atatu needed, another drop ball. And I think the fatigue really starting to come into there as a bike on the motorway behind us zooms past. And if you haven't been down to Jack Colvin Park before, we are literally pressed up against the motorway here out in West Auckland, with a big wall separating us, thankfully, so the noise not too bad. But it's a lovely little park down here. Done a really good job with the new grandstand, the Dennis Williams grandstand, and a great day for footy out here at Jack Colvin. Now his
pass
park
behind, and he's dropped it.
Price, he was into a gap there, but not able to hold on to it. So a little reprieve here for the Roosters, and Falilua Malio staying down after that one, I think it is.
And just on that, as Corey's mentioned about the famous wall here at the Te Atatu Roosters home ground, contact Brian O'Shea, chairman of the Te Atatu Roosters Rugby League, and he'll be able to fit you up with a nice little space there for a local sign to help support the club. There's a wee bit of signage area down here. It's a fantastic place. It's a grouse little stadium, and you'd be very proud to be involved with the Te Atatu Roosters at their home ground.
So a real test of their character here, the Te Atatu Roosters. And look, the game's over, we know that. But Rev O'Neill will be looking for how they respond to this. After getting a win last week, they haven't had much go their way today.
A bit of interchange happening over there as well. I think 2 new players have just coming onto the park. We'll get their numbers shortly. And I think you're right, Corey. Rev will be looking to try and take some positives out of this as we move forward to the second round of the SAS Fox. And this will be great education for the guys, you know, playing in First Division up against the class act being Mount Albert Lions.
Javier keeps the ball alive there with a nice little offload. It goes brother to brother. Nicodemus now involved. Comes out to Sui Fua, who steps back inside, but they've contained him well today. He's been damaging coming out of yardage. But near the line, Mount Albert have contained him really well and may have a little head knock here, and indeed we do. So we'll pause there as the trainer comes on to check he's okay.
And he's actually had some big minutes today too on the park, as they're applying some of the magic water. Just as we do that, you mentioned earlier Ropati, one of the boys for Mount Albert, a famous name in rugby league, and made more famous after John Ropati married a Bedford.
So Neil hoists the kick up high, Graham's under it, and again, really confident under the high ball, Mark Graham. He's been another strong performer for this Mount Albert side today. He featured heavily in the first half. I think scoring a try and setting up another one with some nice passing. He's been really safe under the high ball as well. So another of the strong performers in this one for the Lions. A shout out to Marcus Fraser as well, who's played some big minutes in the middle of the park as Price now gets involved in some ball playing, and they've got space here as Cedar goes, slips through, turns Tua back in on the inside, but they scramble well, the Te Atatu Roosters. And that'll be pleasing as we approach the final 9 minutes of this match. Still plenty of defensive urgency now as Price gets the ball, heads back inside, causing a little bit of trouble with that footwork again. Fraser into dummy half. Fraser dribbles a little kick through, cleaned up by Taylor Herbert. So the Roosters, to their credit, the game's over, but some excellent defensive urgency shown there to scramble back and stop what was a dangerous break started by Corey Sita. And they recover to regain the ball. So 38 points to 6. The Glass Project's Mount Albert Lions lead the Aquatechnics Te Atatu Roosters with 8 minutes to go here at Jack Colvin Park in round 8 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, live and free, courtesy of the Auckland Rugby League.
Well done, Corey. That was a mouthful, wasn't it, eh? Did well. Great little chip over the top. Does he get the regather? No.
And some enterprising play there from the captain, Neil. Chipped over the top. Very nearly got there. I think Rory Rapati just coming over to make the crucial intervention. But they've shown plenty of heart today, the Roosters. And that you feel will be something to build on heading into next week, and in particular heading into the second round of the SAX Fox Memorial Premiership. Of course, the goal for any newly promoted club is to stay up, and we have seen a couple, Richmond and Otara in particular, in the last few years. They did come up and then drop straight back down. Richmond, of course, back now and had a really good season last year to ensure they remained in the first division, and again look pretty safe to do so again this year. So crucial that the Roosters keep their standards despite the scoreline here, which they are doing so far.
Yeah, I think Richmond's been doing some good work over there. Steve Buckingham at the helm, head coach for the Richmond Bulldogs. And they've got some good people around them. Gus, Graham Atmore that's over there, and of course my young friend and school buddy, Elizabeth Coy Atmore. They'll be looking for a big day today in regards to their challenge and who they're up against. I'm just having a quick look at that as the scrum is being set.
So Dunn's going to feed our scrum here on halfway, and they'll go out towards the left. Jordan Tua in for a carry.
Yeah, Richmond Bulldogs, Glenora Bears, and that is a Conacher Minolta Root Rooster challenge. And if anybody has the score for that, please either send us a messenger through on the Facebook or text us so we can do a live update on that as well.
Fraser now hands it off to the 18, Simone Makahili. Has really added something off the bench for the Lions today. See Joseph Price there just directing a bit of traffic, almost acting as that third playmaker at lock forward position. Finds Rapati on a short ball.
And there was a number to choose from. They had options inside, outside. They just, you know, just too classy on that edge.
Fraser dummies left, goes right. Sita tried to reel it in, but Taylor Herbert does really well to rush up, put some pressure on him and force the knock on. So good defence there from young Taylor Herbert there to close it down.
Here they come. I'm impressed with the referee. Boy, did he get back there fast.
And just a nod to the fitness levels of this Te Atatu team as well. They've done plenty of work today, but to see them still with the urgency here and the speed of play, really good to see. Their fitness levels are obviously right up there.
Yeah, and that's a testament to Revel and his team. I know that during pre-season they were doing a lot of hard yards. They're not a big side, Corey, but they've certainly got a lot of pace around the field, and they have the ability to shift from side to side with the skill set that they have.
Great carry forward there from
he just lined him up. He said, I'll run it Ropati, let me hit him.
Chu there adds another good carry. So last tackle, what can they come up with here? Neil gets his hands on the ball, shifts it out the back, and that will finish the set. So a bit of a limp end to that set for the Roosters, really. Didn't throw a lot at them on that occasion.
Screaming out. They're talking about 3 minutes possibly on the clock to go from the far side there, so they'll be looking to complete their sets. And I dare say one of the small milestones that the Aquatechnics Roosters team will be looking for is to make sure that they don't go into the changing room with 40 points or higher racked against them.
And at the conclusion of this match, ladies and gentlemen, do hang around. We will have interviews with both captains from the two sides, and we'll hear their thoughts on this match and how things panned out. So thank you for joining us today. Always a pleasure to bring you these Auckland matches courtesy of the Auckland Rugby League, our first SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match for the year. As we see a bit of a sloppy play out the back there, and it's gone into touch. Not completely sure whose ball this will be, but we're into the dying minutes of this one here, and a few tired bodies out there now, particularly a few of the Mount Albert big boys, I dare say, feeling it. And really, it should be pointed out, despite the scoreline, boy, Mount Albert have had to do some defensive work today. The other two really took it to them, particularly that first 15-20 minutes of the second half, Troy. They've had to stand up defensively as well as score the 38 points.
Yeah, I agree, mate. And they needed to show a wee bit of steel there in that second half. You know, the first 15-20 minutes of playing from kickoff, allowing Mount Albert those many points. You just can't allow them to do that, because at that point it was going to be a tough day in the office and it was going to be so hard to come back from there. Mount Albert again threatening.
So the Lions, can they crack 40?
No.
Not on this occasion, they can't. We've got a penalty. So he was short of the line originally, and now we're going to have a Mount Albert penalty, I think, or perhaps play the ball 10 metres out. Little unclear on the referee's call there. It is a penalty, so Fraser kicks for touch. And this is just about getting to last set territory here in this round 8 SAS Fox Memorial Premiership match between the Aquatechnics, Te Atatu Roosters and Glass Projects Mount Albert Lions. They shift out towards the right now. Done. They've got numbers here if they can get it there. Well tackled by Inu. Up a little high. Yeah. So Mount Albert will maintain the ball.
The big standing strapping centre there. Dion Snell out in the back line looking for his second one of the day. Or was Buzz going for the field goal?
I dare say he may have been having a breather, Troy. He's got through some work today, has Dion Snell. Of course, a really fine player, a Counties Manukau Stingrays representative. I think also Akarana Falcons representative.
Wow.
Player of the year a couple of years ago in this comp as the siren goes in the background. Now Mount Albert with the last use of the ball. Rapati chucks it up the back. Taulu edges towards the line. And that will do us here today.
Has the referee heard it? He has.
He has. So there, that will end it, ladies and gentlemen. So congratulations to the Glass Projects Mount Albert Lions. 38-6 winners over the Aquatechnics Te Atatu Roosters in round 8 of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership here at Jack Colvin Park. And Troy, I believe we might have a couple of updates from the other action.
Will do for all the rugby league fans around the world and also throughout the Auckland region. Point Chevalier Pirates managed to pull back with a last-minute try, taking them 20 points to 16 over the Howick Hornets. So again, the SAS Fox ladder will change, looking at that final score from then. And just through from the North Shore, looks like Mangere East Hawks have just rolled the Northcote Tigers 26-22.
Wow.
So there is some more excitement at the bottom of the ladder as well with the clash there. And Corey, what I'm going to do now, mate, is I'm going to see if I can't sprint over to the teams there and grab a couple of captains and bring them back.
Yeah, don't pull a hammy, Troy. We have been sitting down a while. The muscles may be a little colder, I dare say. But while Troy goes off and gets the captains, just talking about those other results, it does have some implications for the table. So it looks like the Point Chevalier Pirates are going to go outright top on 14 points. They'll jump the Howick Hornets, who they just beat, on the ladder. And at the bottom, well, a huge result for the Mangere East Hawks, getting their first win of the year. It's been a really tough year for the Hawks. So they will jump to 2 competition points and nuzzle in behind the Northcote Tigers and Te Atatu Roosters on 3 competition points. So just to run you through the table as it stood heading into this one, we had the Howick Hornets on top, tied on points, but ahead on differential with the Point Chevalier Pirates. Mount Albert were in 3rd position. They will jump up to 12 points with this win today. Glenora were 4th, Papakura in 5th. Of course, the reigning premiers started the season with a few kind of key guys missing, I guess, some key personnel. Reece Joyce, who was over playing football in the Cook Islands. Sounds from the outside to be a pretty cruisy gig. I believe flying over there on the weekends to play some footy with a number of the other Auckland boys and then coming back to resume the normal week in New Zealand. So a pretty good gig there for Reece. For those of you who watched the NRL Rookie last year, you will know of Reece Joyce, one of the great characters on that show. Back to the table for the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership, and in 6th position heading into this round was the Marist Saints, in 7th the Richmond Bulldogs, and then rounding it out the final 3 teams, Northcote Tigers, the Te Atatu Roosters and the Mangere East Hawks. So a good victory today for the Mount Albert Lions. They executed really well when they had to, survived some early pressure in the second half, and in the end came away with a pretty big victory. But for the Te Atatu Roosters, well, they showed plenty of signs, which I think Coach Rev O'Neill will want to build on heading into this back part of the season. And as we mentioned that now, we're going to cut the camera to Troy Hardy, who is fieldside with Te Atatu Roosters captain Kyle Neal, and Troy's going to have a quick word.
Thanks, Corey. Great to be down here, and commiserations, mate, in regards to the Roosters going up against Mount Albert Lions today. Kyle, first thoughts for you, mate?
Pretty tough game for us, especially that first half. You know, can't start off slow like that in Fox. They Mount Albert quality side, and you know they showed us what it was all about. Boys dug in deep. That second half just tried to show a bit of aggression, and I think we just need to turn up like that week in, week out, and we'll go right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's the way we called it. I think, you know, those first 15, 20 minutes in that first half, you can't afford to give Mount Albert that much of a lead, and it sort of made it a real tough day in the office. Positives, though, that second half, you guys really sort of, you know, came out and stood up. Who stood up for you in your mind in regards to playing well for the Roosters today?
Pretty tough to call, eh? I think our forward pack in that second half, they showed that aggression that we wanted. You know, there's Mount Albert, big side, big skillful side. You know, we want to try to shut that ball down, and I think our forward pack, led by Suller and Stu, they done that for us today.
Mate, one last thing I wanted to let you know is that we've just got the results through from the Mangere East and Northcote game. Was that playing any thought for you this week in regards to the boys' preparation up against this match? Do you want to know who won?
Oh, you know, I'm not too worried about it. You know, we can only focus what else I can do. You know, we obviously know we're close to that relegation, and for us, you know, that last week's win took a little bit of pressure off us. But you know, we want to be up there with these top teams. So, you know, whatever happens. We can't rely on those results.
In regards to today's match, what's the key learning that you'll take out of this game moving into the round 2 of the SAS Fox?
I think probably just our starts. We've got to get our starts right. When we get our starts right, you know, we're hitting that forefront. Usually we lack in the last 20 minutes of games. Today it was just the first half, but you know, we just can't let that happen. Otherwise, we're playing behind the 8 ball.
Okay, mate. Look, on behalf of the Auckland Rugby League, commiserations for today. Best of luck for the rest of the season, though, mate. Cheers.
Thanks,
over to you, Corey.
Thanks, Troy, and we are joined by the captain of the Mount Albert Lions, Marcus Fraser. Marcus, a really good victory. What's most pleasing? Is it the 38 points on the scoreboard or the 6 on the other side?
I think it's we pride ourselves on our defence, so you know, for them to only score 1 try is you know, is good for us, I guess. Yeah, so we're tracking along really well.
You started well in the first half, and the points were quite easy to come by, but you had to really absorb some pressure, especially early in that second half.
Yeah, we sort of lost our way on attack a little bit in that second half, and you know, that's something we definitely need to work on if we want to be an 80-minute team. So yeah, we'll just go back to the drawing board on Tuesday, and there's always room for improvement.
You were without a couple of kind of key guys this week, Aidan Ackland and Nella Palavi. How hard is it to kind of adjust the game plan when those guys are out, and I guess make sure that you still keep those standards?
Yeah, it's pretty tough. They're quality players, but you know, we're happy for them to be playing in New South Wales Cup and the Warriors 20s. So you know, we're happy for them, and we've just got to work without it. If that's the cards we're dealt, then so be it.
You came up against the Roosters team today, who enjoyed their first win last week. Despite the scoreline, I thought they actually didn't play that badly. What was your impressions of the opposition today?
Yeah, they came out firing, and you know, we just needed to absorb it. We always thought that we could be a fitter team, but you know, credit to them, they stuck in there, and you know, they gave it to us in that second half.
You get the week off now for Queen's birthday weekend, and it looked like there's a few tired bodies out there. I guess it'll be much appreciated break.
Yeah, mate. Just can't wait. Get away, get out of Auckland, and you know, just stop thinking about footy for a while.
You got Northcote after the week off. What's the main sort of work on for you guys over the next fortnight?
I think it's just, you know, trying to be an 80-minute team. We seem to start pretty well, but you know, lose our way in the back end. So we'll just work on you know, sticking to our structures for the 80 minutes.
Marcus, thanks for joining us. Enjoy the week off.
Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
So that will do us today for our coverage of the SAS Fox Memorial Premiership from Jack Colvin Park here in West Auckland. Thanks for joining us. Do keep an eye on the Auckland Rugby League website and social media pages for our next live stream match. Of course, we do have the weekend off next weekend for Queen's birthday, but thank you very much for joining us. We trust you enjoyed the match. Thanks.